It's Tuesday, September 1st, 2009. Thanks for clicking on the Morning Swim Show. I'm your host, Peter Bush. We're gearing up for another great college season, and that will be the focus of our interviews this week. Today, we're going to talk to Coach Brett Hawke, the head men's and women's swim coach at Auburn. Tomorrow, we'll catch up with Ricky Behrens from Texas. Then on Thursday, we'll talk to the American who had the fastest time in the 1500 free this summer, Chad LaTourette. We'll ask him about his swims at the World University Games and how he's preparing for his sophomore year at Stanford. And then on Friday, we'll talk to Randy Horner, the head coach at the University of New Orleans, about their new pool 4 years after Hurricane Katrina wiped out the old one. All right, before we get to Brett Hawke, we have just a little bit of water polo news from Croatia, where the home team took the gold medal in the Men's Junior World Championships. Croatia defeated Greece by a score of 9-8, with hometown star Nikola Markovic scoring the game-winning goal in the final 5 minutes. In the bronze medal match, Serbia edged out Montenegro 7-6. The U.S. finished in 8th place. They lost to Australia 11-3. You can read our full recaps of the finals on our water polo channel at swimmingworld.com. All right, time to bring on Coach Brett Hawke. This is his first year as the head men's and women's coach at Auburn. And let's go to him now, live on Skype from Auburn. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Peter, thanks for having me again.
Well, before we talk a little college swimming, give me your thoughts on the World Championships in Rome.
It was an amazing meet. We all knew the controversy surrounding the suits and things going into the meet, but once you got there, for the most part, we tried to put that behind us and really focus on the performances and focus on winning medals, just like any other swim meet. And so for us, we had 15 athletes representing different countries from Auburn University, and so it was a pretty big contingent. We had 4 guys on the U.S. team, and I was there with the Brazilian team with Cesar Cielo, and just from the very first day we had great results coming in, and but all up, to come away with a world record, a bunch of medals, it pretty much went the way we wanted it to go for us, and so we were really happy with the outcome.
All right, after Cesar won the 50 and the 100, we said here on the show that we felt like for the first time since Alexander Popov, the world had an undisputed sprint king. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would. And, after the Olympic victory last year, I really knew that Cesar was setting himself up to be kind of the next, the king of sprint, taking over from Alexander Popov. He's in a position, he's 21 years old, he's in a great position to dominate the world for the next few years, and so we knew going into this World Championship it was important to come away with a few wins, and he was really focused on it. But I'm not going to say that the 100 freestyle didn't surprise me just slightly. It was great to see him win that race and break the world record. If I had been a betting man, I would have said that I would have put money on him breaking the 50 world record ahead of the 100, but he came away with the win in that, and it was just a phenomenal performance.
How about your other star swimmer, post-grad, we're talking about, Fred Bousquet? He had a great meet as well, but does he risk now being overshadowed by Cielo?
I think everybody, has the challenge of being overshadowed by him now. I think he's just in a position to dominate for the next few years, and so he's very confident. The more he wins, the more confidence he gets, and now he's got a world record under his belt. He's going to be tough to beat. But in saying that, Fred's a tough competitor, and Fred is an exceptional athlete in his own right. He's a world record holder still. He held on to that world record, which was great to see. And he got beaten by a fraction of a second at the World Championship. So, Fred's going to be around for a few more years, and he's going to be a contender come London.
How do you balance having those guys who are post-grads and mixing them into the college team? Do they have a separate workout, or are they in the same pool at the same time?
Yeah, we went with a separate workout for most of this last year. They're just in a different system. They do a lot more recovery because they're older athletes, they're bigger muscled athletes, and so and then some of the work they were doing was just completely different to the college team. So we tried to break it up as much as we possibly could, and there was only a very few workouts where the teams were actually together. But at the same time, those guys still live in Auburn, and they're still a part of our team in the grander scope, and so that they're always having an influence on the other swimmers. But we do try and specialize in what we do, and those guys were really focused on the World Championships at that point in time.
All right, this must be an exciting year for you. It's your first year as the official head coach of both the men and the women. Do you feel any different? Is the challenge any greater, or how do you enter this season?
I'm not sure if the challenge is greater. I'm always wanting to be the best. I always want my team to be the best, and that's always a great challenge. There are great teams out there and great coaches out there, and so we're just trying to stay focused on what we do, and I think that's what has gotten us to the point of where we are now. Is we're really focused on our own performances and how we go about business, and so. It's great to know that there are competitors out there, but we're not focused on them. We're really focused on just getting the job done here. And we have a great young staff with Paul Yetta now, and Aaron Charler and Richard Long and Kerry McCambridge. And so we feel very balanced in our staff, and we feel very good about the future.
You've always said that you are big on mental preparation. How do you do that this year, knowing that the kids are going to have to go back to wearing the old school swimsuits? And times might be a little bit slower than in years past.
Again, we're not really focusing on going slower. We're focusing on going faster, and that's a real mental challenge in on itself. And so, I'm not trying to take a step backwards. I'm always trying to take a step forward. And so the challenge for these guys is, how do you swim as fast as you did last year without the suits? And that's what we're focused on. We're not focused on swimming slower, and so. And I think the NCAA has come out and kept the A cuts as the same as they were last year, and so that's a great challenge for us to say, all right, it's been thrown out there by the NCAA, now let's go out there and get some times, and so that's where our focus is right now.
And finally, Coach, are there any tributes we can expect to see to Richard Quick, or what is in store for this season in terms of remembering him?
Well, we won the NCAA title this year with the men's side, and so the men's swim team will be honored in October at a football match here against Kentucky at Auburn, and so I think they're going to do a tribute to Richard at that game when we are presented with our national championship rings, and so he's somebody that we always want to remember in our program, and so I think there'll be an award in the future in memory of him and in his honor, and so everything we do, we try and incorporate things and people from the past, and Richard's a big part of our future as well.
Well, Coach, congrats on the success. Good luck this year.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's Coach Brett Hawke joining us from. And that's it for the show today. Ricky Barron's tomorrow. We'll see you then. I'm Peter Bush, reminding you to keep your head down at the finish. Issue of Swimming World magazine focuses heavily on the 2009 FINA World Championships. Magazine focuses heavily on the 2009 FINA World Championships. China lost its dominance in diving, and the United States women's team repeated its dominance in diving, and the United States women's team repeated its water polo champion. The world by breaking records. On the cover is Germany's 200 and 400 freestyle. The world by breaking records. You can read more about Biederman swims and others from Rome starting on page 7. You can read more about Biederman swims and others from Rome. Days in the pool, 7, the drama in open water, and the big stories in synchro swimming, diving, drama and water, and the big stories in synchro swimming, another large part of the September issue. Jason Marsteller writes about the Baylor part of the narrow victory in the mythical national high school championship. Narrow Dan Albano details the strategy that led to Saratoga High's first boys national strategy that led to Saratoga High's high school coverage, the list of this year's high school All-Americans. To round out our high school coverage, the list of this year's high school All-Americans. Of 50 years of Swimming World magazine looks back at the years 1989 to 1992 and compares the individual medley dominance by Tomas Darnier and compares the individual medley dominance by Tomas Darnier and Carlin Pipes-Nielsen and Chris Colburn can find some good training tips from Carlin Pipes-Nielsen. Coach Ryan Colburn talks about his training philosophy for college college swimming. Coach Ryan in our swimming techniques talks about his training philosophy. And we round out the magazine this month with a profile of our age group. And we round out the magazine this month with a profile of our premium subscribers get extra content in the digital issue of Swimming World magazine. Premium subscribers get extra content in the digital issue of Swimming World magazine that you can't find in the printed edition of the magazine. Results and other features. If you're not a premium subscriber, in the printed edition of the magazine. SwimmingWorld.com. If you're not a premium subscriber, you can upgrade by going to SwimmingWorld.com and clicking on the subscribe button.